Well, first of all, I want to say this is an incredibly exciting day for San Diego State. It's a culmination of, I think, a journey that we've had for a number of years, meaning if you look at all of our metrics, our academic, our research metrics, the applications that have been growing by leaps and bounds, and now something that really holds a promise for our student athletes joining the Pac-12 and bringing our student athletes the opportunities they justly deserve. You know, I want to take just a moment to thank the leadership of the Pac-12, also my colleagues in the other three universities. As you can imagine, we worked day and night, and to get to this point, to announce this is a real testament to what we can do and what we think we can do. Without a doubt, we know this Pac-12 will be remarkable. It will be a leader in many different ways, but more importantly, it will put student athletes first. Secondly, I want to thank the Mountain West Conference because we were founding members. San Diego State was a founding member of the Mountain West Conference. And for many years, we have worked with them, and we're going to continue to work with them until 2026. So this is an exciting time. I want to thank everyone involved. I want to thank all of the athletics directors, council, everybody who helped this happen. I want to personally do a shout out for JD, who has been a valuable leader for this campus, and look forward to the future. So I want to now turn it to JD.
Whew, thank you, Adela. Wow, I wasn't expecting this. I'm thrilled for San Diego State, our fans, our alumni, our donors. You know, we've worked hard for this, and we have invested in San Diego State. Our institution has invested. I've told donors forever, the academic institution has to improve as much as the athletic institution, and credit to President Adela Torre, credit to the previous presidents, provosts, deans, faculties, our students. The academic institution's amazing. The athletic department over the last, 12, 15 years, Jim Sturck's leadership. I was fortunate to work with Jim. All that we've accomplished. I mean, we have the best combined football and men's basketball record in Division I. So I'm so happy, I'm so proud for our fan base, our alumni, our donors that have this opportunity to go into the Pac-12, to create this new Pac-12 and the opportunities that it's going to provide us. Great thanks to the President Adela Torre did an amazing job through all of this, working with the other presidents, the Pac-12, helping make this happen. She's been a rock star through all of this. This hasn't just been the last couple of weeks. This has obviously been over a number of years. She's been amazing. The Chancellor and the system, the CSU system, for their support through this. The Pac-12, they've been through a lot over the last, year. I mean, I was talking with Teresa Gould about it last night. August 4th was a really hard date for us. Imagine what it was for them. So they have Washington State, Oregon State. It's been great to work with them and the Pac-12, and we're excited about what this opportunity is going to be going forward with us. My other three colleagues at Boise State, Colorado State, and Fresno State coming together and working to make this a great opportunity for us. I'm, again, so excited for our staff, our coaches, our student athletes, all the work that they've done to help us get here. And then, as President De La Torre mentioned, we have 2 years left in the Mountain West Conference, and we play for Mountain West Conference championships, and we're going to do that over the next 2 years. We've had great success in the conference. We're all-time leader in championships. We've been the leader the last 3 years. You look at the success across all of our programs. This isn't just a football and a men's basketball move. This is because of the success of all of our programs that we've had in the Mountain West level, at the NCAA level. So we are thrilled for this opportunity. We're thrilled for the opportunity to continue being great members of the Mountain West Conference over the next 2 years. And then during that time, helping to move the Pac-12 forward so that when we walk in the door July 1, 2026, we're ready to go and compete at a national level. Thank you.
Any questions? questions, please raise your hand. I'll give you the mic.
JD, a couple financial questions, and I have a question for the president. Is the Pac-12 teams or the conference going to help you pay any of the exit fee from the Mountain West?
We're working through the final exact details, but there will be some assistance, whether that be the ability to take out loans down the road based on new revenues coming in, some revenues that they have at this point. But yes, there will, that's still all to be worked out, but there will be some, yes.
Do you have to leave behind NCAA units that you got from basketball with the Mountain West, or do you still get that payment over this next group of years?
Those units stay with the Mountain West. Those units stay with the Mountain West.
And, President, is there any ache leaving this thing since you've been the flagship for 26 years? Any ache for the people left behind, like Wyoming and Air Force? And why did it wind up only 4 rather than a bigger number? Thank you.
Well, the first question is, all of my colleagues in the Mountain West are valuable, and all of them, we're going to be working with them for the next 2 years. So those relationships, those friendships will stay. And I do think within the context of other arenas, we'll continue to work together. So from my point of view, I will continue to work in different areas where we can collaborate. On the second question, I bet, which was in reference to the
ones left behind. And is there any ache in your heart about leaving this thing?
Well, I have to say, I have had such a great experience with the Mountain West that, yes, I will say that on a personal level, there are people who I've really grown with. And in particular, I will say, individuals who started out 7 years ago when I just came in as a president. It's almost 7 years that I've been here. I have some very deep relationships, but I'm the type of person that keeps those bridges always open. And so I know that we will continue to have great conversations and opportunities in the future.
JD, I think there are people who don't understand the intricacies of everything that's happening with this. They see that these are 2 of the Pac-12 teams that were left behind when other teams left, and even those 2 teams have tried to leave for other affiliations and conferences. And 4 of the 6 teams now, at least at this point, are Mountain West teams, which is, the current conference that you're in. Where are the opportunities and more specifics, and why is this a better situation moving forward? Is it all based on potential and opportunity down the road, and what do those opportunities look like in your mind?
Yeah, I think the key to this is, constantly improving yourself. We always want to not just look at the short term, but what is going to be, the potential long-term gain. And we think this move is going to give us the best opportunity as you look at revenue generation, as you look at college football playoff, as you look at NCAA basketball, all the other sports. I think something that kind of gets lost with people, the Pac-12 enterprises, the network, is a massive asset that's sitting there that was, quite frankly, a big reason why we considered this. As you look at the opportunities, one, what you can do on campus with that, but 2, the revenue streams that it can potentially generate down the road. So we look at this as, that next step forward. It may not be the step that we looked at last year, but this is definitely a step forward for San Diego State.
President Adela, Torre, could you explain, you said that this is part of the grand vision that you have for the university. What part does athletics play for you and this move in particular for the entire university? So athletics is a front door for any institution. And if you look at any major public university, athletics is critical. Look at the University of Washington, you look at the University of Michigan, you can go on and on. Unequivocally, when I came here about 7 years ago, I saw this potential. I saw it not just in football and basketball. I saw it in women's swim and dive, in golf, in tennis, in soccer, in volleyball. I mean, I went to all of those games and still attend those games when I can. But what's really, really critical here is also the potential, how this is going to amplify
all of our activities. And in fact, just a quick story, when we were at the national championships and I had to go to DC and I was meeting with some large federal agencies, the first thing people said to me, congratulations. And that was on the national championships. And that is what people need to understand. We received hundreds of millions of dollars of publicity as a result of the success of athletics. We had alumni. We have 500,000 alumni that came from all over the world to go to Houston. We had close to 80,000 people at that game. And indeed, I would argue almost half of them were Aztecs. So my point here is, it is only fitting at this time for us to accept the mantle of where we need to be. We are a great institution. We are an exceptional institution. And we are going to rise to the occasion to be the best in athletics.
JD, you've been open about the emotions that happened the last time with the Pac-12 and it falling apart and how that took a couple months for you to get over. Could you just walk us through that process again, deciding to get back to work and leading to this moment?
Yeah, it's my wife's gonna laugh at me for getting emotional again. It took me a while. August 4th, 2023. That's that seared into my brain as much as September 3rd, 2022, and September 3, 2022 would be seared for a different reason. No, I'm just kidding. Just the heat sear. No, I'm sorry, I missed that. There we go. Thank you. August 4th, 2023, sitting in a hotel room in Canton, Ohio, is Don Coryell, Aztec legend going into the NFL Hall of Fame. And, just sitting there and nothing you could do except watch, the former creation of the Pac-12 implode and all the work, again, that we had done over time. It took a good 6 months to get over that. And I don't think I realized that until, we were beyond it. Just how hard that was. I mean, a lot of people on our staff had worked so hard to kind of position us for that. So, here we are with another opportunity, and, we're excited about this opportunity and how it's going to allow us to continue to grow our athletic department, to continue putting, world-class opportunities in front of our student athletes as, we work to give them athletic opportunities, academic opportunities. Our life skills program is amazing. We like to say we graduate great human beings, and we graduated 114 of them last year. This is just that next step in that evolution. Obviously, college athletics is dynamic right now as a whole, and we feel, and the other athletic directors, we've had a lot of discussion. I got to spend a lot of time with the other presidents through this process as well. Everyone feels like this is the appropriate place to be with the current evolution of college athletics, and we're excited about what it means for us.
Hi, I have two questions. First is to both of you. It's been reported, since 8 is a magic number as far as conference affiliation goes for the NCAA, that the current 6 member institutions now in the Pac-12 would be looking to bring in 2 more. So to each of you, athletically and institutionally, what would San Diego State prioritize for 2 potential new member institutions to also join the Pac-12?
I think, this is obviously a process that's been discussed a little bit at this point, but, between data the Pac-12 has, between data that the consulting firm has, what we know, conversations, we're going to look for the 2 best fits for athletics, academics, who can be the most successful, who can invest in their programs, and give us the best opportunity as a league to achieve greatness.
And just to add, yesterday I had a conversation with Commissioner Teresa Gould regarding this, and we both agreed, and I think this is a universal sentiment, that this is an opportunity to be a different type of conference. And again, putting students first in very real terms. I mean, when you think about the fact that in many instances, decisions were made instantly, primarily because of financial matters, without a broader thought, largely because of the pressures of the time and at that moment. And of course, we were caught in that moment. So I have to tell you, I was in tears as well when that occurred. We're going to do it differently. And that's going to make this conference a very, very special conference.
Thank you. Then my second question, JD, is to you. SDSU has multiple programs that are affiliate members of conferences, men's soccer, women's water polo, baseball. Not every team part of the Pac-12 has a program. What's the process going to be like, kind of determining how those programs will be handled going forward? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at is the Pac-12 as we, again, consideration of who those next schools will be part of sports offerings, and then whether it's we're staying as an affiliate member somewhere, or does the Pac-12 look at affiliate members depending on what that championship makeup we want to have as a conference is, that's what we're going to be discussing over the next 20 or so months as we lead into this.
Question and follow-up for Adela. Can you take us through the risk assessment of your exit fee is going to be probably close to $20 million, $18 to $20 million, depending on the conference distribution next year. How did you make that risk assessment not knowing what the television media rights contract is going to be in this new conference, and knowing that the $20 million is a lot of money?
And I'm going to let JD add to this, but I think all presidents were able to assess this. We had very good data available to us about best and worst case scenarios. Like we did our due diligence. We looked at the context of, again, potential media deals within that context. I can't share obviously everything that came into it. We worked with legal counsel. We worked with our ADs. And in that sense, we felt that without giving any strategy out, we were able to move forward, understanding that all of us would be taking shared risks. Because that's the other, when we're talking about rebuilding a conference, you have to accept the fact that there is risk involved. And that risk was far less than the opportunity.
Yeah, I would follow up exactly on that. You can't look at this as a short-term type of discussion move. Obviously, the short term is important, and what are you going to do? But this is a long-term move, and we certainly, a lot of data around what projected television rights would be. It's a good time to be in the market, I think. You think about Warner Brothers Discovery, you think about the CW both wanting to be part of it. You think about, Fox, CBS that are, partners of the Mountain West right now. That television deal's up at the end of, year 2 as we're walking out of the league. So it's a good time to be in the market. And, based on the next steps that will happen, we feel like we're in a great place to be financially better than where we would have been even with the exit fee. And, we will work through how exactly, where the different pots of money are that are paying for that exit fee. I can tell you this, it won't be university funds, it won't be student fees, it won't be state money or anything like that. That's on, me and the development team to figure that out. Bob Mooseberger over there. But we, at the end of the day, it's something that, yes, there's some risk in everything you do. We all accepted some risk when we got out of bed this morning. So it is definitely worth what we're going to get in this in the long term.
And then in terms of the timing of this, I think a lot of people felt like this probably would be something that Oregon State and Washington State would investigate with Mountain West members, but for it happening right now, the Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Navarro just told me on Saturday, and this has been going on since last spring, has introduced modeling to try to have uneven revenue sharing in the Mountain West that would allow schools like San Diego State that are very good in basketball, long history, to keep more of their NCAA tournament units, have the opportunities to make more revenue. I guess the question is, why did you feel it was appropriate to make this move now instead of waiting and maybe going back to the Mountain West and negotiating to see what they could offer?
I think that's an excellent question, but I do think one of the things you will notice in any of these decisions is that they are never easy. And the context that I think is really important is ensuring, and in this context, that the 4 institutions were able to go through their respective processes, their boards, ensure the type of confidentiality and do the due diligence. And it's very difficult to do that in a collective manner, as we know what happened with the Pac-12 last August, which imploded. What every president must do is think of the best interest of their campus. All of us have that fiduciary responsibility. And I would say within that context, we have to maintain our decision-making within a confidential manner. I don't think that's going to change for any future institutions. I don't think it's like other business deals where you go, they're offering me this. Hey, what are you going to give me? So I just think that this is really how presidents operate. And you have to understand the constraints that we live in. And they are different than the constraints that ADs live in. So we did what I think was important, and we got the job done.
JD, there's a tremendous amount of excitement among Aztec fans a couple years ago when there was the potential of joining the Pac-12. This is a much different Pac-12 now. What do you think they should still be excited about by making this move?
San Diego State University and our athletic department continue to invest in being the best version of San Diego State that we can be. We want to go out and we want to put ourselves in the best situation that we possibly can to compete for championships at the conference level, and then allow that to put us in the best place to do that at the national level. And I think with, just what college athletics is today and what it's become over the last 5 years, that we've done that. I mean, just look at what we've done in the last, however many years. You go back to when Jim Sturt got here, and the championships that we've won, and the Sweet 16s and the Final Fours. You're sitting in a $310 million football stadium that the San Diego State and San Diego community, made happen. So this is just the next step. Life is not it's not a straight path. There's going to be, forks in the road, twists, turns, whatever it may be. And sometimes you get knocked down and you got to stand up, dust yourself off, and go figure out what's going to be what's best next, and this is the next best thing.
And as this conference continues to be reconstituted, would you like to see it stay regional on the West Coast as opposed to having to have a couple members that you have to fly across country to see?
I think we will look at putting together the best possible conference that gives us the best opportunity for success at the athletic level and the academic level.
And I would echo that as well. We want the best. And I think that's going to require us to be very thoughtful.
Hey, JD, from a competition standpoint, the Pac-12 obviously lost its designation as a power autonomous conference. With these additions and whoever else you bring in, do you expect it getting back to that level?
I mean, we're going to work towards that. I don't know that it's going to come. It's not going to come automatically. It's going to be something where we're going to have to earn that. So, you've got. Again, it's so dynamic. This conference will start as a new CFP starts. Some of that's been settled. Some of it hasn't been settled. Is it going to be 12? Is it going to be 14? Is it going to be a 68-team basketball tournament? Is it going to be 72? Is it going to be 76? You've got the House settlement out there. There's so many different things that we've got to work through. But the most important thing is the 6 of us at this point, and then whoever the other members are when we, kick off the league on July 1, 2026, we're going to put our heads down collectively, and we're going to work as hard as possible to be at the top of the college athletics spectrum.
This technically is to both of you. Could we just get a little bit more clarity on the timeline of how we got here? Obviously, we know about all the drama that we went through last year, but how did we go from door shut, door open? Was the door always open? It just had varying degrees as to how much the door was open. Can you help us out with that?
I'm just going to say something. I was always curious about this, right? Meaning, I don't think this conversation, in a formal sense, was established, well, there is a formal entry point. I'll let JD talk to it. But I do think this is something that JD and I have talked about when we had, if you will, the collapse of the dream in August, right? And so this is something that we knew that we had to wait for, that our time would come. And so from my point of view, I knew this was going to happen. I just didn't know when.
Timeline-wise, this is, it's been an ongoing discussion for a while. Obviously, a lot of discussion last summer, and I don't know that, things obviously quieted down for a while as everyone tried to kind of figure out how do we get through the short term. And then, things can, you continue to talk to people because they're your colleagues. And then probably, this summer, started having a few more conversations, and probably really July, athletic directors really started having some conversations and picked up steam through August, and then really things really took off this week to hammer out what was announced this morning.
Could you both give us some color about what the other three institutions in the new Pac-12 are bringing to the conference?
Well, I would say if you look at the other institutions and the metrics, again, these are institutions with exceptional academic impact. Many of them in terms of social mobility, if you look at the trajectory of impact on students and student success, quite remarkable. In terms of athletic impact, conference impact, these are teams that are well regarded. And obviously, in terms of media share, there is a tremendous impact. I would say all of us are invested in seeing athletics grow. We are committed to that. And we share these values closely in regard to students at our core, which is part of our strategic plan. But I would say how we will evolve intersected very well with the values of the presidents of Oregon State and Washington University. And that's key because the presidents will direct the future, working with the ADs. It was synergy in the sweetest sense of the word. And I have to say, I can't stop smiling. JD?
Obviously we know the three schools intimately, and you look at the accomplishments of, Boise State football. Fresno's had great football. Boise's been really good on the basketball side. Colorado State, the basketball side. Oregon State, that's a national championship baseball program. I'm very familiar with the Cougs and Wazoo, having spent 10 years in Pullman and all the success that they've seen. So when you look at this athletically, you've got 6 schools that have been successful across the board. They've made or are making the investments in their programs to make sure they stay successful at the highest level. So it made sense that this is the 6 that are together at this point. And again, there's a lot of work for us to do over the next 20 or so months as we, finish putting this together and move into, the new Pac-12.
Adela, I think one of the big surprises was that UNLV was not not one of the 4 schools that joined. What's your take on UNLV when you compare them to Fresno State has far superior athletic resources. Fresno State has had some financial issues, has some issues with the president's office, also has had, is considered some of the lower resourced athletic programs in the Mountain West. Are you surprised UNLV was not included?
Well, this was not a decision based on the 4 presidents. It was really based on the OSU and WashU presidents with Navigate in the context of how we would position ourselves and actually the exceptional promise of all the institutions in moving us forward. I can't say I'm surprised because I was pleased with the configuration and actually the metrics, and the metrics spoke to the decision-making process, and they were very, very objective in that sense. So in my mind, I think it was the best 4 that were selected.
When it came time for the Mountain West to make the decision, we'll let you go for a price, did they cap how many they were willing to let go? Is that why there's only 4?
I mean, I think at this point, in those discussions, the Pac-12 and their consultants and the institutions looked at, all the data that they had and, brought a group of people together to, discuss who were the right ones to go. And, this is obviously a process that's going to take multiple steps, and this is where we're at.
And when you get to the finish line with this financial package, are you guaranteed a new revenue share formula if you have great football and basketball teams? I don't know if I call it bonus payments, but is that part of this deal, or did you ask for it? Have they granted it? What's that going to look like?
As we're working through what that, final contract will be, but certainly, a thought of that base revenue share where everyone has the chance to be successful, but then also, to a certain extent, the ability to reward people for those successes is important.
A couple more questions before we go to one-on-ones.
There are 6 schools that are in the Pac-12 now paying a hefty fee to be able to go and do that. What message do you think that sends to college football athletics in general about the strength of the conference and for potential people who might want to partner with you guys going forward?
But that we're willing to make the investment to be at the highest level that we possibly can be.